What's up? All black men must retain their seed in order to have healthier relationships with women. Now, in my life, man, I struggled with, lust and pornography, masturbation. I struggled with those things. And I think as a black man, we live where our culture is very hypersexual. Something's wrong with you if you haven't did this by a certain age, or you hadn't did this sexual thing by a certain age, and you gotta basically go away from having like a healthy uh sexual life. And I think that it leans into being hypersexual, being promiscuous, being degenerate. All that stuff is cool. It's cool for a black dude to be like that. It's cool for those things to be happening. And so I think we just overlook when a man, when a young boy ends up, discovering pornography and masturbation, and we that gets overlooked. And I think that when it comes to dating, whenever you go to thinking about sex and lust too much, and this is something that's just very evident in the black community, not just among black men, black women do it as well. But I think that the problem will get addressed when the man takes control of himself, and he starts to set things straight when it comes to the dynamic with the woman, when it comes to the dynamic of the culture. So we can condemn being promiscuous, condemn being hypersexual from a man or from a woman, right? Because what people don't understand, when you're hypersexual and degenerate like that, that produces dysfunctional families, which is going to produce dysfunctional people, and it's going to keep that same cycle is going to keep reinforcing itself, because when you have that dysfunctional family that was created by the dad, a lot of the times can be created by the mother, but it was created by the dad because he was super lustful, and then he was never around his kids, and his kids grow up, his kids have the same traits, and then they go and create a dysfunctional family. And I think that when it comes to having the right dynamic with a woman, I'm just telling you, I'm no expert, I'm no guru, I'm not, I don't have you know what I'm saying, I'm not a player or anything, but I am, just trying to bring common sense into it and bring control from myself in understanding that how do I want things to be, and what's going to help me, like, what's going to actually help me, and what type of dynamic do I need to have with a woman for me to be the strongest, best version of myself, vice versa with the woman too. And I think that when you start to look at everything, uh, we're not educated enough on why it's important to not be sexually deviant or sexually immoral, having, sex at a very young age, or doing anything sexually perversive. This is why I say black men, we got to protect our youth. We got to protect our people from being, sexual perversion, because in my life, that only made things worse. Not only did it make things worse when it came to girls and dating and just relationships with women, but it made my life harder entirely when it came to social interaction. When it came to me just being myself, I became way more restrictive and way more antisocial. And for years, I never told anybody this, and I think that we have to open up a space for black men to be educated on this and to implement this and to take action on these type of things, because we all know that's very important. That's the most powerful energy a man has, and that's the essence of a man being a creator. That's the essence of a man being powerful. So to sit here and just waste it all day on, pornography or masturbation, or even if you're just being out there promiscuous, you know, you're wasting that energy, because that's not the best outlet, or it can be a beneficial outlet, but it has to be in your control. If it's controlling you, then we got a problem. And I think that in the black community with black men, you know you'll get called weird, you'll get called lame, you get called gay if you try to implement any type of sexual discipline, because then they're gonna say, "Oh, you don't like women? You ain't trying to just get with any woman? Something wrong with you." Right? And I've been around guys who are like that, and I had to catch myself too, not to use that as a cope, because I know you still have to take action and still have to go out there and try to find a woman. And I think that that's something that needs to be an area of improvement in my life. Uh, but I just truly believe that it can't be taken for granted. You can't just use it for pure pleasure. Use it to serve you. Use it to make you a better man. Whether that's you being with a woman, procreating, having a baby, or that's keeping that energy to yourself and transmuting that energy into bigger goals and bigger dreams you have for yourself, right? It shouldn't be wasted, and it should be taken more serious, and it should be looked at as sacred, not just some loose thing and I can just do it whenever and it don't matter. Those type of mentalities is what keep us down. That's what keeps us having dysfunctional families, right? And I think that that's what really makes a man truly masculine, when he isn't caught up over the girl sexually and everything. And obviously, I'm not telling a black man out here to ignore that, but I'm saying use it in a way where it's only going to help you. Don't use it where it's going to hurt you when you're being, lackluster and you just don't care about it. Because when you do that, that's when you catch yourself in situations you don't want to be in, right? And I'm a man that wants to have a family that's a good example of what a family should look like. And that comes with me understanding that your sexual energy is powerful. Your seed is powerful. You don't just waste that on any girl. You don't waste that, you don't waste that on anything. You only use it to benefit you. You only use it for a purpose and for a reason. You don't just waste that energy and not care about anything. But yeah, man, if there's any black man out there who's trying to self improve, who's trying to gain a grounded identity in being black and loving being black, learning black history more, and learning who to look up to in black history, and learning about eating healthier and just overall self-improvement and coming together and becoming more financially literate and all these things. um I have a guide that's a deep dive on all of those things. If you want to check that out, the link for that will be in the comments of this video, description of this video, and if you click on my channel in the bio section, you'll see the link for that, and check that out. That's pretty much all I got to say. Peace out.